Before we dive into today's episode, I would love to introduce you to someone very special, the heart behind this podcast and behind Ona. Anna is the CEO and founder of Ona, a community that supports women in creating healthy families and reconnecting with their well-being. She's also a doula, a mother of two beautiful girls, and a sausage dog, and someone whose passion lies in uplifting women through every season of life. She's here not just as a host, but as someone who's walked alongside hundreds of women on their fertility journeys with care, curiosity, and a big open heart. Welcome, Anna. Hi, I'm Maria, apparently the best person ever according to Anna. No pressure. I'm the marketing assistant here at Ona, and some of you might remember me from my days at the clinic reception. My background is in geology, but these days I'm all about nature, the seasons, sustainability, and a deep love for essential oils, herbs, and flowers. I help keep things running smoothly behind the scenes, from admin to the website and marketing, and I'm so happy to be here with you today. Okay, so welcome to Fertility Me, the self-love journey. We are so happy you're here. This podcast is about reconnecting with yourself through real stories and gentle conversation. You can expect in each episode interviews with different practitioners, some recorded at the Ona clinic and others online, just like today. We will also be sharing a special segment called Never Have I Ever, a light-hearted but meaningful space to reflect on those unexpected moments of growth, healing, or self-discovery. And maybe you've already spotted us around. If someone was wandering through Essendon with a giant sign saying Fertility Me, the self-love journey, that was absolutely Anna doing her thing. So welcome, Anna. And how are you arriving today to the conversation?
Yeah, I'm super grateful to be here in this moment right now. I feel like this idea has existed for a long time now, and I'm so excited. I'm sure there could be many reasons why we couldn't be recording today. In fact, I spilled tea just before we started. But hey, we are here. I'm arriving with gratitude and so much joy in my heart to begin.
That's great. The first questions that came to my mind is, what inspires this podcast?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I've always wanted to share with women wisdom that I collect. And over the years, I had this vision of bringing it kind of to the nest and letting women partake in that wisdom. And then I realized that it was collective wisdom that we are cross-sharing together. And some of it might be on the professional level, and some of it is life wisdom. And I never really thought it would be a fertility podcast that I would be talking about, but being in this space for a while now, I've been practicing for 15 years, I definitely see a pattern. It's a bit of a pattern that I've seen with women, and I say similar things when I see this pattern. So the pattern is a common factor that was active when actively trying with additional help. And at a point in time, a woman or the couple, they would experience a moment of maybe fear, let's call it fear or urgency, where the woman or as a couple, they start listening to that voice that pops into their head. And the voice is not necessarily the friendly voice. The
Mm-hmm.
voice will say things like, it's me, I'm I'm the issue. I've tried everything. And they might say this out loud. I've tried everything. No one wants to help me. We've heard that before. I'm alone. They really experience this feeling of that I'm alone. They see babies everywhere, as a couple and as a woman, they'll go to an event and they'll hear the announcements of babies being born. Um, my partner is fine and I'm the one with the problem. I need to do more. They're seeking to do more. I want to try more stuff. Okay, I need to
Mm-hmm.
try more, maybe a new therapy. What else can I do? And then doubting the process. I don't know if it's working. This is common. This is common amongst everyone's journey. And this can come up anywhere between 6 weeks or 2 years if it's a longer journey for someone of trying for a baby. And it has a different energy, it has a different reasoning behind this kind of state of mind. And one common thing I keep coming back to for women is to keep connecting to themselves and much more that they literally love themselves to the next phase of their life, whatever that phase will bring them,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a baby or whether it's not a baby or whether it's surrender, whatever that next phase is, they've got to be okay with themselves. And that became a pattern and it became really, really important. And I think I've said it so many times. I thought I want more women to hear it, and I want more women to hear it near and far. And we've had discussions and conversations at the clinic with ourselves, but also other practitioners, like-minded practitioners. It's so important to be connected to yourself and not lose yourself in the journey. And I think this is why it was really important to start this podcast, Fertility and Me, the self-love journey.
Absolutely. Um, I have a question. Why do you think we are, especially women, I think, so quick to blame ourselves when something doesn't go to plan with our bodies?
Yeah, it's a good question. And we do. I think maybe this question, or the answer to this question, has two parts. Maybe the first part is that there is not enough information and facts about both parties, depending on the situation. So there's a partner and there is not enough information. Maybe there's not enough information about the woman's body as well. The second part is more internal pattern and internal dialogue. And just as we started with, I think the second part is really, really important also to consider. Where did that question come from in the first place? Why is this coming up that something has to be at fault with me if something's not working out in my body? Sometimes we make choices, I understand that don't lead us to good places. And it might be diet or lifestyle. But where did we lose our compassion to ourselves? Why is this coming up? Maybe that's the question I want to ask back. Why is this coming up for you? Did someone say something to you maybe a while ago? Maybe is it something that is a pattern in your life? That would be an interesting conversation to have, because I don't think it's the same for every woman.
Mm-hmm.
But certainly start with gathering all the data and information, and then really understanding, where is this coming from? Where is this mindset coming from? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And talking about self-love for every woman is different, as you were saying. Has your relationship with self-love evolved through your work and your personal journey?
Yeah, that's a really deep question. Absolutely. I think I would be really, maybe not myself if I said, oh no, I got I've got self-love sorted. Everything's great here. Um, I think it absolutely has evolved. And when I really think about it, like as a little girl, I remember that kind of magic, and it's a different world. I still remember that world that I was in. And sometimes I come back to that place when maybe there are challenges, because, and this is part of the reason why on our clinic, in our clinic, we picked the slogan, anything is possible. It really came back to the roots, to the roots of how the story started. It started with my great grandmother, and she was a very kind, compassionate, and caring individual, nurturing individual. And I think I was lucky enough to grow up in a world where there was that little bit of magic, even though there were challenges. So if we apply that, to the rest of the life as it's progressing, there have been challenges, and still there are challenges. Um, I had to really relearn that. I had to relearn how to love myself as an adult. And I had to ask for help with that. Yeah. And sometimes we do. And maybe this is a reminder. Sometimes we have to ask for help with that. And we have to borrow some of those things, beliefs, or borrow some compassion, or borrow some positivity, until we can get to that place and keep practicing.
Yeah, it's like daily practice, I think.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I'm really looking forward to, teasing it out here in this space, and reminding women and their partners as well how important that is in the whole journey. It's not just about baby. It's also about listening to the body. It's listening to each other. It's about being comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's about um, choosing the conversation you want to have with yourself as well, softening, accepting some things, maybe even, and less about fixing, and more about being, really just being, letting our body rest and our mind rest. This
Yeah.
is going to be important.
Yeah, I think that's really, really important. Yeah. Really important message also. Yeah. Um, and Anna, what does that mean, fertility, to you?
Fertility, the word fertility.
Yeah.
Okay, well, fertility, I have to be honest. Fertility, I feel it's kind of like this wholesomeness. It's not just my reproductive organs or someone else's reproductive organs. And it's not about necessarily about baby making. And it is at the same time, right? So I feel to explain about what fertility really means to me is I have to go back to a particular story, to the beginning, and maybe explain what I thought fertility was, and now I can share, and then I can share what fertility is to me now. And the story that comes to mind is university, and my journey through university. It was a 5-year double degree at RMIT. And at the end, in the 5th year, I had to repeat 2 more subjects. So everyone was doing 4 subjects, and I was doing more, and clinical practice. And to get through it, I did all sorts of things, stay up late, drink coffee at night, all sorts of things that would keep my energy awake to get through whatever I needed to get through. And it was a double degree. I was cramming. I had to catch up, and I was going to China the next year, and with everyone else, and I had to, right? So in my mind, the meaning that I put to this situation is that I had to finish because I needed to travel, or I wanted to travel, but I also needed to start working. That was more of a need. I had to start working. So there was no choice to wait or delay or take it easy. To me, I decided that was a necessity. I had to finish with everyone else, and I had to go to China. And when I got to China, I was really close with a girlfriend of mine who wanted to stay further in China and follow a famous doctor there. And she asked me if I wanted to be a patient, and I agreed because I had a missing period. And it was interesting because when I got to see this doctor, the first thing they asked was if I was pregnant, based on the physical examination and the pulse taking. And I was not pregnant, and I was worried for that question. I was actually really scared of the idea. I was in my early 20s. And if you are listening and you're in your early 20s, you might know what that would have felt like if someone proposed that you may be pregnant, or maybe it is different to you. But to me, it was, I was freaking out. So then they suggested to do an internal ultrasound. This was my first ever internal ultrasound. And of course, they came up with diagnosis, and that was PCOS, PCOS. After that, I Googled PCOS, and Google told me at the time that one of the things that would be compromised is fertility, future fertility. And then I went from one extreme of feeling scared about a pregnancy, a potential pregnancy, to being really, really scared about not being able to fall pregnant one day. And I think a lot of women can relate to that part. And, I'm very blessed that I got my period back and in the medicine that I'm in, and I had options and opportunities to receive help at the time. And we are blessed to have our babies and 2 girls. And we did have a miscarriage as well at the very beginning. And we did everything right. We cleansed, and we prepared our bodies. We did everything right. Aaron cleansed as well. He works in an environment where there are lots of chemicals. So he would also come home and take his clothes, like change his clothes before entering the house. Like, we really were conscious of what we were about to embark on, and we thought we were doing everything right, and it didn't work the first time. And it taught us some things. It taught us that we're really not in control. And it taught us that maybe things that are forced, they don't necessarily click, rather than ease and flow and surrender. I'd love to open up this discussion and invite Aaron onto this podcast another time. But this was my first definition of fertility. It was very traditional, and it was very physical. And I believed fertility was affected by things externally, things like diet and lifestyle, and I did see it as a representation of reproduction only in my young 20 and mid 20s, early 20s mind. Yeah, so it used to mean something different, and it carried a lot of responsibility that had fear attached to it as well. And now fertility still has a lot of responsibility, but I think it has more of a inside out relationship with ourselves. So oneself, me. And then that part interacts with things around me. It's like it flipped around. And I think you can only realize that by going through a journey. So fertility now is you is as a whole, and you are well, and you are full, and you are enough, and you are you, whether you have a baby or you don't have a baby yet. So that's the definition of fertility for me now.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful, and I think that it really connect with what we were talking at the beginning. Like it closes a bit the cycle that we were saying, like the beliefs and everything changes when you reconnect with yourself. And of course, you go through the journey that you need to go. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. I believe so. Yeah. I love that we're part of many journeys as well, and we get to witness that, and we get to be on that journey with women and couples. I think that's beautiful too, to witness it. It's, yeah, a miracle.
Yeah. What do you hope this podcast offers to someone listening?
Yeah. I hope that any woman or couple or anyone who is hoping to start a family, I hope that when they listen to this podcast, it can bring them back to themselves and ground them in the experience, no matter the journey. I professionally, I support, and as a clinic, we support women and couples on different journeys, whether it's natural conception or IVF, or same-sex couples, or single mothers with a donor. There is no judgment or right or wrong there. I hope that women listening and watching, and whoever is in their support circle, are able to hold compassion for themselves through the journey and stay super connected to who they are and remain there no matter the challenges. And remember that they're not alone. They're absolutely not alone. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not only about fertility, right? Like it's about presence and connection.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we're all somehow interconnected. And I think we'll see that as the more people will come as guests, and we'll see that as we have deeper conversations and really tease out the important things out of this topic. It's it's incredible how everyone's connected. You're not alone. And it's being more kinder to yourself, and changing what it's about so that you feel that you're enough in this world. I think when we're enough, good things come. Good things come.
That's powerful. Yeah. So if there's only one message that you would like to share to every woman, like to take away from this first episode, what would it be? Like one message?
I think so. There's so many examples that I can think of. I'm trying to keep all the women and everyone who have helped in my mind. And I think the scary and the most important thing is not moving forward towards a target that's outside of yourself. So if I was to say to you, don't focus on the baby, that feels scary, but also it's important. And it's true, it is scary and it's important to you. But if you can go more inward towards yourself, and then from that place, you go to the next place, then you can discover things that you wish for. And they are not here to complete you because you're already complete. So I think if we keep that message in mind, that you are already perfect as you are, and from that place, good things happen. Can you believe it that it's happening? Can you actually believe it? You were so nervous.
Yeah.
If you're watching, we to celebrate this podcast, we put together a gift box for the first 10 people who showed interest in this podcast and wanted to know more. So the first 10 people to put their name down, they will be receiving a beautiful box from us. If you want to know more, because it's been carefully curated, if you want to know more, keep listening to Fertility Me podcast, the self-love journey, and you'll know more. There's I think we've got more in store. This is only just the beginning. What do you think, Maria?
Yeah, absolutely. This is the beginning.
This is the beginning. We're gonna blow your mind with goodness and positivity.
Yeah.
So happy to be on the journey with you.
Yeah. And exclusivity, I would say too.
Exclusivity. That's a good clue, isn't it? Exclusivity. You are incredible. Thank you for listening to us. Maria, do you want to say anything at all?
No, I want to say that thank you for the opportunity to share this space and make questions. I think it was really interesting hearing all your knowledge and wisdom. And I think it's a really positive message to everyone who is listening.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. I've been telling Maria that she's going to be on this podcast with me for a long time. And I don't think she believed me.
No, honestly, no.
Until last minute, until I said, have we done your intro? So definitely give Maria some love on socials, and whenever you see the shorts or the videos come up. Maria has so much beautiful intuition, and her kind, beautiful nature just radiates to the world. And I think your connection to nature brings that out in you as well. I think you have this beautiful love for nature around you and animals and stones, and I think you're a bubble of positive energy. So thank you for being on this journey with us.
Thank you so much, Anna. You're the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty. Oh my God, we did it. Thank you for listening to Fertility and Me, the Self-Love Journey podcast. This episode was brought to you by our sponsor, Pack Queen, the leader in packaging.
I love.